Hi guys, so I am Engineer Pactoranan. This time, ito na yung last root finding method na i-discuss natin ngayon. So this is the second method. So ano ba yung second method? According dito, the previous example demonstrate that despite its accuracy and speed, the main problem with the Newton-Raphson method is obtaining the derivative of complicated functions. Thus, a new method is modified by substituting the first derivative f prime of x by the slope of the second line connecting the first two iteration, and it is called a secant method. So, ito yung ating graphical illustration. Imbis na tangent line ang pag-uusapan natin, meron tayong initial na dalawang iteration, itong dalawa. So, kung mapapansin nyo, kinonect natin yan and yan na yung magiging second line. Okay? So, ulitin ko, instead of tangent line, magiging second line na siya ngayon. According dito, consider the graphical illustration. So, the second line passes through x n sub 1, tapos f of x sub n sub 1, and x sub n, f of x sub n. So, syempre, para mahanap nyo yung slope ng second line, kung gusto nyo mahanap yung slope nito, ang gagawin nyo lang is using the formula. So, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay? So, ito na yung formula natin. So, replacing yung f prime x ng Newton-Raphson method into m of secant. So, di ba? In the previous video na discuss na natin yung Newton-Raphson, instead of using f prime x, ang gagamitin nyo na lang is ito. So, parang sinubstitute ko lang. So, therefore, by some algebraic manipulation, ito, itataas mo lang naman kasi that's the denominator of the denominator. Numerator siya. So, x sub n plus 1 is equal to x sub n minus f of x sub n times x sub n minus x sub n minus 1 all over f of x sub n minus f of x sub n minus 1. Okay, so ayan na yung ating next value of x. So, since meron na tayong formula ang gagamitin, ang next step ay i-discuss na natin yung mga procedures. So, the following is the step-by-step procedure to perform the second method. Note lang na dalawa ang initial values dito. Ulitin ko, may dalawang initial values. X sub n minus 1 and x sub n. Okay, so yun yun. Unang step, solve for the value of f prime of x, solve for the value of f of x n minus 1. Baguhin lang natin na. So, pahintay lang. Ayan. Wala yung derivative. Nagkamali lang ako ng na-type. So, unang step, solve for the value of f of x sub n minus 1 and f of x sub n. Okay, so yun yung una. Pangalawang step is hahanapin natin yung value ng x, which is x sub n plus 1. So, which is using the formula we previously derived. So, ayan na siya. And lastly, repeat the steps 1 and 2 na nakalimutan ko lang i-edit. For every new value of x until its value can be accepted as the root. The tabular presentation of the result of the iteration is helpful. Okay, so yun yung gagawin natin. Para mas maintindihan nyo nga ulit, I think mas magandang may example ulit tayo. So for the last example, same problem ulit. Determine the root of 3x raised to the 4th power plus 7x cubed minus 15x squared plus 5x equals 17 between 1 and 2. So, use the second method and perform 7 iterations. So, solution. Yung function nga natin is f of x equals 3x to the 4th plus 7x cubed minus 15x squared plus 5x minus 17. Ayan na yung function natin. Ang first iteration, sabi nga, meron tayong initial value of x na 0 and 2. So, paki-edit lang ulit, that is x sub 1 and 2. So, yun. F of x sub 1 o f of x sub 0 pala is f of 1 which is equal to negative 17, and f of x sub 1 which is f of 2 is 37. Okay? So, ayan na siya. So, para mahanap mo yung x sub 2, yung x sub 2, ito ang gagamitin nating formula, na-derive na natin to. X sub 2 is x sub 1 minus f of x sub 1, the quantity x sub 1 minus x sub 0 all over f of x sub 1 minus f of x sub 0. Just substitute 2 kasi yun na yung x sub 1 minus 37 times 2 minus 1 all over 37 minus negative 17. So, ang x sub 2 is 1.31481. So, ito na yung ating x sub 2. Okay? So, for the tabular presentation, ito lang siya. X sub n minus 1 is 1. Ito yung x sub 0. X sub 1 is 2. Yung kanilang values is negative 17 and 37. And yung magiging value ng x is 1.31481. Ito lang yun, guys. Okay? So, I hope that is clear. For the next iteration, x sub 1 is 2 and x sub 2 is 1.31481. Of course, kasi 'di ba ito yung last na nahanap natin. So, baka kasi yung iba, sir, 'di ba dapat ito yung x sub 1? No. Okay lang na mas maliit ito, class. Walang problema dito. This is not a bisection method. This is not the false position method. This is a secant method. So, okay lang yan kahit mas maliit yung next value. So, for the second iteration, yung f of x sub 1, which is f of 2, is 37. Yung f of x sub 2 is f of 1.31481 is negative 11.481. Dahil alam mo na yung value ng f of x sub 1 and f of x sub 2, hanapin mo na yung x sub 3 using this formula. So, di ba, paulit-ulit lang naman ang magiging step. X sub 3 is equal to x sub 2 minus f of x sub 2 times x sub 2 minus x sub 1 all over f of x sub 2 minus f of x sub 1. So, ito siya. I will just give you as a homework na i-compute ito. Pero ang magiging sagot lang naman yan is 1.47707. Okay? Tabular presentation, ito na siya, 2, 1.31481 yung ating x sub 2. Tapos, parang ito lang, yung x sub n, magiging dito na, 2 na siya. Yung 1.31481, mapupunta na siya dito. Tapos, hahanapin mo yung kanilang mga values. F of 2 is 37. F of 1.31481 is negative 11.481. So, pag hinanap mo yung x sub 3, ito na siya. Hindi ko na ipapakita yung mga other iterations. I-present ko na lang yung complete tabular presentation for the 7 steps. So, dito tayo na stop for the third. Itong 1.31481 mapupunta dito. Itong 1.47707 mapupunta dito. And just take the values of f sub x. Then, hanapin mo yung x sub 4. Then, move ka dito as 1.4. Tama ba? So, yes, tama. 1.62644. So, ito yung 1.47707. Ito na siya. And yung bagong value ng x is yung 1.62644. I think hindi ko na kailangan ng masyadong pag-elaborate dito. Basta ang magiging final value ng x ito. Yung last, 1.58416. Yan ang magiging final value ng x. Okay? So, yun na nga. Based on the value of that, or based on the table, the root of the function is the last value of x sub n minus 1 or n plus 1. Sorry. So, that is 1.58416. Basta yung last. Okay? So, sana clear tayo doon. So, yun lang. Tapos na tayo sa second method. Note lang that the values obtained using both the Newton-Raphson method and the second methods are the same for at least 5 decimal places. This means that the second method is a good alternative if the derivative of the function is challenging to obtain. So, yun, at least, na-discuss na natin yung mga methods necessary sa pag-compute ng roots. So thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope may natutunan kayo sa ating lecture video. So bye-bye!